Right. Just going to wait to see if this is live and check the audio and shit. There's already people in the chat from the Tang Gang. Shout out Tang Gang. Okay, this looks live. Perfect. Perfect. Audio's good. We're good. Then, so now this can get shot. I'm just going to boomer my way through this thing. How should we start this off? So yeah, hell yes. So much to talk about, so much exciting stuff. The more bearish that people become, the more bullish I get. So I'm very bullish. I mean, you guys know I'm perma-bull, but now I'm even more bullish. I get more bullish by the second, yo. I'm just going to shut a few things. Now, Seven said that on the last stream that I did on Crypto 7, my mic was glitching a little bit. And so I have literally shut every internet connected device in my entire place to see if it's like a bandwidth thing. And then now I'm just going to shut all this stuff. Sorry for all this, but here we go. Oh, okay. So yeah, some things that I need to mention is, so the Tang Gang is still the official sponsor of the show, which I really appreciate. This is the website, well, this is one of the websites or the main website. It's the hexoacoin.com. I've just noticed this site was created by Bullish. That's not what I just noticed, by the way. But I just noticed that now it's got this rolling changing tagline, and I haven't actually read all of these yet. They change quite quickly. The meme coin that's turning the crypto world orange. It's here to meme and squeeze the day. The fruitiest meme coin in town. All right, we'll need to maybe take some votes on which one of these. The meme coin that's making crypto. These rotate too fast for my boomer ass. My boomerness can't read this fast enough. Is the meme coin that's as sweet as is the meme coin that's so hilarious it's like a comedy show? The meme coin that's juicier than a ripe orange on a hot summer's day managed to get that one just where meme coins meet zest and hilarity. I think we need to accommodate some of the slower readers. I was about to say retarders. The slower readers need to be accommodated for here. I think maybe a little slightly slower rotation on that. But anyway, that's new. Someone else is taking the idea of what I have done with these streams or what I'm going to do with these streams, and they're taking it and they're also going to do the same thing, and they're on a bigger channel than me. And I told them it was fine. I said that was fine because obviously I can't say no anyway because it's crypto. There's no rules and you can't say to someone, no, you're not allowed to do a similar idea. And so and I was a little bit worried because of the scale of that channel is like a lot larger than this channel. I thought that person might end up just taking my idea, and then my version of it might just end up getting killed because of having a larger channel doing the same thing. And then I realized that because of the support of the Tang Gang, which happened almost immediately when I actually came up with this idea, I actually don't have to stress about that at all. I don't have to worry because that was an unconditional and no time limit support for the show. So we can't lose. We can't lose. And that's the general takeaway, I guess, is that when you're a part of the Tang Gang, you can't lose. There is something that's very, very, very exciting that's just come out by a project called 9mm, who are part of the Tang Gang. They have, you guys can see that, yeah? Yeah. So they have released this new block explorer, which is not effed, whereas every other block explorer is completely effed. And so, this is really cool. I think this is publicly accessible now. Yeah, so it's on the scan.9mm.pro. site, it does say that the indexed it's only 4% indexed. Last time I checked, it was 3, I think, or 2. So it's climbing up. That will take a little while to get to 100%. And I think until it gets to 100%, there might be some stuff that's not displaying perfectly correctly, but that's not a failing of the Block Explorer. That's just to do with, if you don't have everything synced fully, then you might not have some things able to be shown. But weirdly, it does actually show some stuff that's very new. Like, I've been using this Block Explorer to see what tokens have been sending into the DillyDAO for addition to this show, and it shows them, like and they are things that would be very recent transactions. So maybe they've got some clever way of like making sure that all the new stuff is there, and then so the stuff that maybe is missing is like the mid stuff. So that maybe they've like got some kind of partial node or something that's allowing them to show recent stuff while going back and indexing like the archived shit. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to. I didn't ask them, and I'm sure there's a reason for it. But for now, this has been working killer. This is absolutely lethal, as the name would suggest. So that's really impressive, and people are starting to wake up to the power of the Tangang as well when you've got serious shit like that is a part of the Tangang. We've also got something that I'm really excited about, but I still can't talk about it in detail, that one of the Tangang coins is cooking up. Let's just jump straight into... sorry. One last thing, which is sort of like shouting out the sponsor, is I've got, this time I bothered to put the merch links. So all this merch, like this top that I wore to the music festival, and that clock behind me, and not this hat, but this mug with the orange peel, Pulse Chain logo. All of that merch, the links are now in the description below. Also, speaking of that description, I sort of like talked a little bit in the description about how sometimes things are not quite what they seem, and we'll get into that in a little bit as we get to the first actual coin that we're going to be charting. So first, I think that's everything I needed to talk about as the intro. Yeah. So, and just, you know, I did a Twitter space. I actually did it yesterday. It was meant to be the pre-party for this stream. We were meant to do the Twitter space, do some Q&A, talk about it, and then jump into the stream. But then some things came up, and then like by the time I found time to do this stream, I wasn't as hype, I wasn't as energetic, and I decided, nah, I want to do the streams where my energy level matches the excitement that I have for crypto and the excitement that I have for looking at this stuff, not just some sort of like forced shit where I'm like half asleep. So first of all, we're going to pull up this chart of Pulse. It's quite hilarious that on the last episode, episode 2, which was really the first episode that we did any charting, I drew this. On the first episode, we did look at the Pulse chain chart. So maybe this chart was actually from the first episode. Anyway, so this is what I drew at that time. Let's just look at the date, 25th of August. Yeah, so that was actually episode 1. So yeah, okay, this is pretty cool. So on episode 1, we looked at this chart. I looked at this chart, and I said that for Pulse, I said, here's the bear scenario. Can you guys see this? Is it big enough? Let's just zoom in a bit. So this is daily chart on Pulse chain against the dollar, or against a dollar stable. Obviously, everyone knows Pulse Chain is going to be absolutely lethal this coming bull. It's going to be, it's really, the amount of stuff that's being built, not just by Tangang coins, but the amount of stuff that's being built on Pulse Chain is just absolutely insane. It's absolutely nuts. You know, when Liquid Loans comes out and that Oracle Fetch, that version of the Fetch Oracle, it is called Fetch, sorry. It's the original name of it was, forget, Teller, I think. Anyway, doesn't matter. Fuck that noise. We don't need to flex memory here because there's no such thing as memory. We're living in the moment. So once those two things come out together, I think we're going to really start to see, it's going to really become more noticeable how much stuff has been built and is being built on Pulse Chain, and people are starting to take notice. And someone even tweeted out, someone replied to Moon King saying, dude, like giving mad props. And I know that's not what this show is about. This is meant to be about charting, but I think this is really important because it kind of ties into why the Tangang's so awesome. This person was giving Moon King props for three or two different reasons. It was like, dude, you are doing more than most people, like far more than most people, to actually raise awareness and bring people over to Pulse Chain, while simultaneously copying mad hate for it. So you're getting people hating on you and screaming at you and being negative towards you while doing something that's actually way awesome for the chain. So you're helping these people that are screaming at you negatively, and then also continuing to do it after copying that hate. So it's kind of three things, but they're all interrelated, right? It's like, and the Tangang kind of is going through the same thing. It's doing something awesome, in a demonstrable way that is raising awareness and increasing the adoption of Pulse Chain. And then, or like at the same time or before or after or during or whatever, copying mad hate, and then not being deterred by that level of negativity and hate and just continuing to do it anyway. That's most humans don't operate on that level. Most people would be like, all right, well then, like, fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. I'm out. Like, you like, let's, and sort of a desire to demonstrate, like, okay, let's see what happens for your chain when we don't do this thing, and wanting to sort of, you know, oh, I'll show them. That's, most people have that reactive nature, right? Like, I'll show them what happens when we no longer do this thing for them. But it's like, nah, we'll just continue doing it. So that's pretty cool. That's very cool. I'm not choosing my words very carefully today. I'll try and do better. So let's go with what happened with this chart, right? So we drew this chart out, orange lines to keep the Tangang happy, gang affiliated. And so I had this downtrend, right, for Pulse Chain. And by the way, where these lines start is where the chart was at, right? So the chart was here on the day. And I basically said, look, here's the bear scenario, is that we go down to where I did this thing that I won't spend a lot of time talking about, where I use the fib tool in a creative way that most people don't do, where I actually look at where those fib levels look nice throughout the historical price action, and use that to predict a bottom that hasn't occurred yet. And in doing that, I said, look, this is kind of like my likely bear scenario, is that the price will go down. And you can go and fact check me because it's on that video. Either episode, it should be episode 1, right? To basically estimate where this bottom would be. That was the bear scenario. then my hyper bull scenario was just like the fantasy bull scenario was just turn around and go immediately to the moon, which is this arrow that's so dank that it's not even on the screen completely, like just straight up to the first fib extension. Obviously, that was a joke because it's very rare that markets actually just do that shit, but that is always possible, that crypto just moons beyond what is possible for your feeble mind to comprehend. And then I had this like realistic bull scenario where it was come up, get rejected by this level and by the downtrend once more, and then break through, turn this level into support, and then start moving up. Right now, you could say that you could look at this and be like, wow, this guy pretty much predicted the future. Basically, that trick that I did with the fib extensions pretty much called the bottom, you know, within like a bee's dick of where the bottom was. Also, what the price action did in terms of the respect of this level coming through and breaking through it. But unfortunately, what actually happened ultimately was not one of the scenarios. It was sideways, right? Where you could laughably, people say, oh, technical analysts, they just basically give you, it could go up, down, or sideways, right? Now, had I done that and said, oh, it could go up, down, or sideways, then I would have ended up being right because it ended up going sideways. Effectively, we're pretty much at the price that we were at the time of that stream. I think that this shows the power of TA, even though it didn't correctly predict ultimately what happened, right? But this level was respected. We went above it. Obviously, it broke down, flipped it into resistance, and then the next attempt. And by the way, I haven't moved any of this shit. None of this shit has been moved. Every single line on this shit is exactly where it was. And you can go and fact check that shit if you go and look at that last video, right? This level was respected perfectly. It was used as it was where the price was resisted and put back into a downtrend. Now, the good news is that we broke out of this major downtrend, which is basically the downtrend that has been in effect since the entire time that Pulse has existed, basically, except for, you know, the very, very, very first few days. And so that's the good news. The bad news is, though, that, you know, after, it would have been much nicer if we had actually followed this path that I had drawn in, even if it wasn't quite as aggressive as this, if it had just found support on this level and stayed above it, I would be much happier about Pulse. But we're going to get into some coins that have basically said, F the market, F the overall sentiment, F the macro, F Pulse Chain. F Pulse Chain? Say what? And are going up anyway, right? And we see those green candles, and that's what brings the FOMO, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to show coins that are FOMOing up. And by the way, I actually forgot to recheck the wallet immediately before the stream. So if any coins have actually been sent into the Dilly DAO for charting that within the last, like, I don't know, 8 hours or 10 hours, don't worry, I'm doing another stream. I'm going to do another stream this week. So it's not actually even going to be a full week from this stream to the next stream. I'll probably do another one. Actually, yeah, because I actually am really excited to flex that new protocol that's coming out from one of the Tangang members. So I'll probably do a stream, yeah, within the next few days to talk about that. And so anyway, I hope you guys have mixed feelings about this. I hope it's making you happy and sad at the same time, because that's basically what the chart is trying to do anyway. We are I think we're at peak negative sentiment. We've got, what else have we got that's really bullish in terms of the sentiment? Oh yeah, there's people coping so hard on the timeline. It's ridiculous. You know, it's definitely peak negative sentiment. So yeah, I mean, look, guys, I don't like the price. I don't like the price being this freaking low on Pulse Chain, but we haven't made a lower low yet, right? It looks like I think the next episode it'll be interesting to look at this chart and just see what's up. And I really want to start to see some strength in Pulse Chain because it really does lift. That rising tide lifts all boats definitely is a vibe, and we want to see that, and we hopefully will see it. In fact, you know what? We will see it. Not financial advice. So let's go to the first coin. So this one, oh yeah. So when the last time I looked at this chart, it was actually looking much better. It's gone down a lot since then, but it's still like reasonably bullish. It hasn't even retraced. So let's first talk about the backstory of this. So after episode 1, and I apologize to people that were listening to my Twitter space, you guys have to hear this for the second time. So I'll try and keep it brief. After my first episode, where I said the Dilly DAO does not have a coin, and if you see a coin being created, oh shit, you know what? I want to make myself small and I want to make the chart big. Wrong button. One sec. Perfect. So sorry about that. I didn't realize I hadn't made and I'll just quickly flick back to that other chart just in case you guys wanted to see like levels or something like that. So that was the pulse chart we were just looking at. I apologize. I meant to make that big before we started talking about. Let's go to the next one, the Dilly DAO. So in the first episode, I said, if you see any coins that are pretending to be this shit, it's fake as fuck. It's a scam. The Dilly DAO doesn't have a token. There is no token. And if a token ever gets created for it, I will tell you on stream. Literally that day, 2 tokens got created for the Dilly DAO. And I told 43 and he was like, well, let's hunt these mofos down, right? We know it must have been one of the viewers of the Dilly DAO stream that you did, and there was only like less than 200 views on that stream. So we joked about like hunting the people down who made like fake Dilly DAO tokens. And this particular Dilly DAO, so the other one just died. I think it rugged. This one sent the entire supply that wasn't in the LPs to the Dilly DAO address. So I don't know if they were just scared that we were going to hunt them down, or if that was their intention all along, was to like make the token on behalf of the show and then like supply it to the show or whatever. But basically the entire supply, the entire liquid supply is now in the DAO address, and the chart was looking glorious. Like I think when they sent the tokens to the DAO, it would have been when it was just crushing all-time highs. And so this is looking mad bullish. What I've drawn here is this resistance line, this resistance level in orange here. Can I make this even fatter? Yes, I can make this one level fatter. So it resisted the price action here. It also resisted the price action here. You could say twice because there was a wick there as well. And now, theoretically, that level would be a 30% retrace from the all-time high, which is pretty reasonable for like bullish price action. Right. So, but it is going down at the moment. Everything's getting fucked today, by the way. Everything's getting effed in the A. Everything's getting absolutely effed hard. Dilly's up the BH. Dilly's up the B hole, right? So sometimes the Dillies can fuck you regardless of the color. They can fuck you up. They can fuck you up. And the color doesn't matter. I guess the color does actually change the feeling though, whether it's a good feeling or a bad feeling. But let's not think about that too deeply. Let's not go too deep with that analogy or the pun. So that's that one. So Dillyz, for now, it appears that it was not bad actors or that they flipped the script. And the chart looks good at the moment. We'll see what happens. And that'll be another interesting one to re-look at. Let's go to the next one. Another hilarious one. Another hilarious meme coin that was made off an Eric Wall tweet. And that's why the name of this stream, by the way, is joke meme coins, because they've all got funny names, right? Like Dillyz, I kind of funny, although I'm biased because it's the name of the show that Bluey and I came up with. Simp Dow is fucking hilarious, and it's made off the Eric Wall tweet where he said that Hex is effectively a simp Dow for Richard. A large quantity of the supply of this coin got sent into the Dillyz address. The chart is so new, you'll notice I haven't even got lines on it. We need to give it more time to breathe. We need to give it more time for like the liquidity to increase and stuff like that. But I just thought I'd mention it because they sent an absolute metric F ton of the supply. Speaking of sending high amounts of supply, I'm just gonna have a little bit of a whinge here. I'm gonna have a little bit of a what's it called? Like whatever it is, I'm about to do it. 2 tokens got sent into the Dillyz, like an absolutely pathetic amount that didn't anywhere meet the minimum requirement of $10 worth of the tokens to meet the token gate. But I thought to myself, oh, since the show's so new, and do I make an exception where I just chart these coins anyway, even though it was literally fractions of a cent, right? And I had already arrived at the answer to be no, that I'm not going to do that. But then something that reinforced the no into a hard no was I'm hanging out in the Tangang, right? I'm in the Grove. And Too Spooky is like, hey, man, have you guys heard about this coin? They just sent me like a shark or whale, I think a whale position. And I've noticed that they've just been like sending out like shark and whale positions in this coin out to like known wallets and known influencers. The strategy is typically you make it look like, so when if someone's eye fucking the wallet distribution, they're like, oh, all these people who I look up to and respect and think are dope hold this coin. Maybe I'll buy some, right? That's the strategy. It happens to Vitalik all the time. And so he mentioned that, and I'm like, yeah, you know what, motherfucker, I have heard of that coin. They sent like 0.0000001 cent worth of the token to the Dillyz, and I'm thinking, these disrespectful motherfuckers, they are disrespecting the Dillyz that much that they're handing out whale and shark positions in this coin, and then disrespecting the Dillyz by sending like 3 tokens worth like distant triple O fucking multi O fractions of a cent. I'm like, motherfucker, I should blacklist these mofos. However, I am going to do the freedom of speech shit where I'm not going to blacklist their asses, but I'm certainly not going to be charting their shit with like, how crazy is that they're just like handing out whale and shark positions and then disrespecting the Dillyz to that level. So these coins have at least got the right idea where they're handing over like high supply percentage, paying their dues to the Tangang and the Dillyz. Not that they're related, by the way. Like the only relationship between the Tangang and the Dillyz is that the Tangang is the official sponsor of the Dillyz until enough non-Tangang coins participate in the DAO. So the Simp DAO, again, it's quite new. I've got this is on 4-hour candles. There's not enough price action to really, go on then. We'll fucking put this in. Come on. There we go. So you could maybe say that was an area like a resistance that could maybe start to act as support. I just think it's too early to even be drawing lines on a chart. Now, here's another one that went large in terms of sending an amount of supply. This one, so all of these coins so far, DillyDAO, someone made it based off the name that I gave the show. SimpDAO was based off an Eric Wall tweet. And then this one was made off a comment that 43 made about like Leet, 1337 Leet, like Leet Hacksaw Elite. And so 43 said it would have been a cool idea if someone had launched a coin on Hex's day 1337 called naming the coin like 1337 or Leet and maybe like airdropping it to Hex stakers or some idea like that. But in his opinion, the opportunity was missed because day 1337 had already passed. Whoever made this coin decided that they'd do it anyway. They did it slightly differently to what he was saying. What they did is they made the supply 1337 and then they sent 555 of the token to the DillyDAO. So like nearly half the coins. And so again, super new, super low liquidity. We can't really chart it, but I just thought I would mention that was a coin that was sent in and we'll keep an eye on it heading forward, like, you know. So I guess with coins where, like, particularly with this DillyDAO one, where they sent literally the entire supply, then they can't like because normally the token gate is like per episode. But obviously if the entire supply has been sent in, then we can't expect them to send even more tokens to like reopen the token gate for future streams. So some of these coins that have sent like extremely high percentages of supply, maybe we'll just look at them on various episodes or, you know, whenever there's something interesting to show about them, or if they, you know, if something happens. And so it'll be interesting to keep an eye on those. The next one is an absolute lol fest. You guys probably heard about it. It did really well at the start. I know the chart now looks like a fucking pump and dump, and I'm just gonna check comments just in case there's anything wrong with the stream, and maybe just as a little timeout. This one's called Hookers and Coke. Thank you for Tangang. Thank you so much for the support. I kind of went like to the Tangang and I was like, oh guys, someone is doing my idea and I don't know if this is just gonna like fucking run me over. And so I know you guys are already leaning in and supporting the fuck out of my shit, but I need to ask, like, please, for like, you know, please, if you guys have time and inclination to like support these streams in terms of engagement and stuff like that. And as the Tangang always does, they show up and they show support, and you can tell by the comments that they are here. They are painting the comment section orange. And so, yeah, most of this, yeah, people are buying dips. People are keeping the vibes high. Straight facts. The hate motivates. Yeah, so look, Too Spooky is starting to cop mad respect from people within the Hex community. And you know, I personally think that one of the most powerful things that you can see is when someone starts off on one side of something, and one of the examples is Bitcoin. You see Bitcoin haters, and when you see like a known Bitcoin hater who's been vocal against Bitcoin, and when they change their mind and become pro-Bitcoin, and you could include Michael Saylor, you can include, well, I mean, can you include banks? Because those fraudulent fucks are just always lying and just doing corrupt shit. And so you can't trust a word that comes out of their mouth. So even when they go from being anti-Bitcoin to pro-Bitcoin, it's not even legit because they're probably lying on both ends of it. So what I'm saying is when you genuinely see someone go from being a hater to a lover, then I think there's nothing really more powerful than that. And, you know, sometimes I think to myself, oh man, I wish I wish I wasn't so good at identifying things early in terms of I was early to Bitcoin, early to Hex, early to the Tangang, like, because then you get to be one of those people that starts off as a hater and then you get to be the prodigal son where you're like, guys, I've now realized that your shit is legit. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for like, now I've come to see the light. And then everyone's like, yeah, man, like, fuck yeah, come on, bro. Like, dude, so glad that you're part of the team now. Let's fucking go. Like, I don't get to experience that ever because I don't like, I rarely am late to work that shit out because I'm open to having my opinion changed really early on, right? And so the things that I like, the things that I dislike, I still dislike. The coins, I'm trying to think, is there a coin in crypto? Is there a coin in crypto that I've ever changed my mind on? I'll have a think about that. There might be one, but I don't think there is. So, and anyway, this wasn't meant to be me flexing. This was meant to be me actually paying respect. So these guys in the Tangang that didn't give up, they didn't stop because of the hate. They didn't let people's negative comments slow them down or any shit like that. They just kept memeing and kept having fun. And Too Spooky's example of this. There are people on the timeline now that are flipping their attitude and being like, yo, dude, I've now actually realized what you guys are doing actually is positive for Pulse Chain. And this is starting to starting to sound like a sick idea. I'm going to lean in. So you predicted every scenario and now claiming it. So I guess you're obviously talking about this chart back here, and I guess I'm sort of saying that this is kind of this is like success and failure in one thing, right? Like, as in, this was correct that we did actually go down to this thing that my little fib idea predicted. This was correct that this level ended up being very significant, the one and only level that I actually drew on the chart. This kind of happened, but then this last part of it broke down rather than going up. So I guess like it was this weird mix of being wrong and right. Like it was right enough to kind of like highlight that it makes sense to do TA, but wrong enough to get you wrecked if you actually tried to actually directly follow. And that's why I tell people don't make your financial decisions based on any shit that I ever say ever, because you can kind of be right. Like, you can be right enough to look like your shit was legit and right enough to be like, see, I told you guys that this and this and this, but wrong enough for it to actually ruin you financially if you were positioning yourself based on that shit. So I think this is a great example I think this is actually a really, really, really awesome example of how this shit actually works. The risks, the benefits and the risks of using TA. I guess, like, a TA expert would argue, yeah, look, if this was your theory and you were watching it the whole way along, then you would have known that this was invalid. Like, you would start to look at invalidation at some point, and you would be like, okay, at some point you would be like, yeah, okay, this is not happening anymore. I.e., once maybe when this got rejected, when it actually got rejected and started moving down, like, this is a daily chart, so you would have maybe got out of the trade here, which would have still been up from where you entered or something like that. So I guess one thing that I'm not doing on this show yet is, and maybe I won't ever do it, is taking that extra step from looking at the TA and what it's saying and actually showing how you would turn that into an actual trade. Because while that can be beneficial from an educational position in terms of like looking at risk and reward and those sorts of things, it's also stepping like closer to something that someone might be like, I followed the trade idea that you put on your shit and I lost money, and now I'm this guy that threatened to dox you. And then guess what? The guy that threatened to dox me, I had all of his information, all of it, name, email, address, everything, bits of information about him that you wouldn't even like, that you wouldn't even need for a docs, like just peripheral information about this person's life delivered to me by people who saw that I was being wronged. And so don't forget that there are very, very, very talented people in this space who like care about who they believe. If they see that they see someone that they believe is an ethical actor that's either being taken advantage of or being like wronged, they will, they will act accordingly. And by the way, I haven't done anything with that information yet. So, perfect segue into this next comment, time for war. I know you're talking about something different, but yeah, I haven't actually looked into that yet. And so I've noticed a lot of people in the Tang Gang talking about this war thing and the sort of like love war thing. And so I know the Tang Gang is kind of excited about it or talking about it, even though those coins are not like formally in the Tang Gang. But maybe there isn't a formal definition for what is and isn't the Tang Gang, right? Maybe there doesn't need to be, it can be I wish there's probably some beautiful word for when things are, there's a French one. I'm not going to try and do it. I'll butcher it. But there's a French one that's like, that means a certain undescribable quality or something. Like you don't have to define an undefinable quality. So one guy who sacked 3 mil is constantly dumping. Is that PLSX or PL? I'm assuming you're talking about PLS. Look, eventually the Jeets get out. So you at the bottom, you know the Wall Street saying, the bigger the base, the higher into space. The longer that we stay down at the bottom, particularly on coins that have got like buy and burns or whatever. Oh, actually, I guess the PulseX buy and burn works a little bit different to that. But you're effectively rotating. Every person that is buying is more likely, like very much more likely to be a diamond-handed holder. And the person that's selling is likely to be a weak-handed Jeep. So even though that I know that is not going to cover every single sell, because there will be some people that are swing trading and there'll be some people that are like, they're diamond hands, but they're like, they need the money or whatever, right? Like there's heaps of different scenarios, but in general, in this period of the market, you are rotating holder distribution into the more willing to diamond hand the supply. And so that means that when we eventually go up, this is what sets us up for the crazy moon mission, because there'll be people buying now that are not going to sell until it's done at least 100x, right? So you just as long as we don't, I don't want to see us just continually going down. So I don't really mind sideways as much as I mind down. Here's a question here that I might have to clarify my title. Do joke meme coins, what does it say? Do joke meme coins have to be more sophisticated than a cute dog picture? Well, the reason I named the stream this is because I just noticed that the new coins that have come in, the non-Tang Gang ones, which are Dilly DAO, Simp DAO, Elite, and Hookers and Coke, which we'll go back to Hookers and Coke. That's the one that we were on. They're all hilarious, right? Like these are the types of memes where fast reaction. It's like you see something on the timeline that is funny that could be adopted like culturally, and you immediately create a coin and then you just see how it goes, right? And I think in a way, it's kind of how HOA took off, right? You don't know what's going to go viral. So some people are just like, okay, this sounded funny. It's kind of got this funny backstory. So it's already kind of got the backstory and the culture built into it. And they just create a coin. Hookers and Coke, I started having a policy where it was like, if I see a coin name that makes me laugh, I'm going to immediately buy it, right? And so, and I made that rule after seeing, the first time I saw Hex Orange Address, I actually lolled, and then I didn't buy it, and then it went up heaps, and I was like, I should have bought that shit. And I was like, from now on, if I see a coin that makes me laugh, I'm going to buy it. I used that rule on this Hookers and Coke one, bought it, it went up, and then it started like just getting absolutely murdered, and so I just dumped it before it got completely murdered. So I stopped. I actually had some sort of like did a partial round trip, didn't, and then I can't remember whether I even kept like any of it. And it's probably better that I don't remember, because I don't want people like trying to like work out what my wallets are. And even though I probably wasn't using anywhere near a main wallet to do degen shit like this. Anyway, so it really got absolutely rinsed. Here, down here, it would have looked like it was totally dead. Let's just take a look. I haven't actually put the TA lines on this one yet. Let's just go from here down to here. So yeah, so not like that was a 95% retrace from the blow off top down to this. I know I've kind of done it in a weird way. Oh no, okay, no. Strictly speaking, I haven't done weird rules, because the highest wick actually does coincide with the highest close, right? So we're on a 15-minute chart here. But remember, the deck screener omits candles that have got no price action on them. So this coin's not this many candles multiplied by 15 minutes old. This first candle's all the way back on the 18th of August. And so I just wanted like high resolution on the chart in terms of like the movements. And so this thing's doing like some kind of recovery bounce at the moment. They actually when they sent the tokens into the Dilly DAO, I think it was only like a couple of dollars worth of tokens, but then because it pumped, it actually went somewhere between like 5 and 10. And I thought, because the name is funny and shit like that, I'll make it like a mild exception. But in general, the token gate is $10 worth of token. And because it was also in an uptrend, now it probably is actually like the amount they sent in probably is $10 worth. Because I think we were maybe around here or some shit when it was between 5 and 10. It doesn't really matter. Look, I'm not like super, super fussed about it. The point is not the exact number of dollars, but I just consider $10 to be like free for most founders and whales and shit like that. So if people are trying to get cheeky and like gain, if I start making it so that I'm like, oh, well, if it's close enough or whatever, then people will just start sort of like testing that boundary and seeing how little they can send where I'll still put it. So in some respects, I need to be strict about it. But for this one, and because it's super early and we don't have heaps of coins participating yet, as the bull market gets kicked in, that shit will definitely not be happening. Oh, and by the way, this was another thing I talked about in the Twitter space. I'll repeat it here for anyone that's watching. I really like the idea that Ivan on Tech came up with, where he was like, we're making the fee for using Morales money this much, but as the price of Bitcoin goes up and the bull market gets more and more fired up, we're just going to keep putting the price up. But the people who signed up early will always get that cheaper price. So it does two things. It like it helps to restrict that you don't get like, so you don't F the alpha up. You don't F the A, lol. You don't get F'd in the A. You don't F up the alpha because you're making it so it becomes more and more expensive so that it does actually fit the supply versus demand thing, the economics of the situation. But you also don't like F over the people who supported your idea early. And it encourages people to support your idea early. So I'm going to work out how I'm going to do some shit like that. I haven't worked out the exact details yet, but it's going to be some shit like that where, so obviously the Tang Gang, who were like immediately supportive of the idea, there'll always be some kind of like, you know, even when their formal sponsorship fades out, when it's not required anymore, because that was kind of the idea that they're just there to, they said they'll support until the show idea doesn't require it anymore. But there'll always be some kind of, right, like it'll be like the actually I won't use that analogy, but you guys get the idea that early supporters of the idea will be looked after. So so fucking hell. Bro, people love spending their money on hookers and coke, lol. So that was why I laughed at the name of it and bought it on the upswing, was because I was like, oh, this has got the narrative of like, when people are like, oh, what are you going to spend your gains on? Hookers and coke, right? And then it's like, oh, the coin, or are you actually going to Vegas? So yeah, GMGN. The Dillyz are down under. Yeah. Look, we're going to keep the vibes high even when the candles are red. So look, anyone who bought this dip, which the Dilly DAO got gifted the dip, right? So and by the way, remember that it's not necessarily the team that participates in the Dilly DAO. It can be any holder of the coin, right? Any holder of the coin can participate in the Dilly DAO. So whoever sent the hookers and coke to the Dilly DAO basically sent the dip, because they sent the coins in and then the price went pumping. And so from the low, I mean, let's be realistic though, because you wouldn't have caught the freaking wick. Let's go from these here where it would have been more realistic that you had some time. 89%. So let's just ballpark a 2x, right? So hookers and coke has done a 2x gain from the bottom. And so people are loving the hookers and coke. It's like one of the few coins that's got green Dillyz at the moment. Obviously, it's super low liquidity. And so, so with a market cap that low, the amount of coins that they sent into the Dilly DAO percentage-wise would maybe actually be significant. So that's another thing that I said on the Twitter space as the pre-party for this stream is I will start to look at, because of situations like this where the cap can be low, I will start to look at what is sent to the Dilly DAO, not only in dollar terms, but also in percentage terms. And, you know, maybe that should actually be the way that it's done. But I want to make it hyper accessible. I just want, and you know, look, the other streamer who asked if they can adopt my exact idea of how I'm doing this structure, he clearly recognized that why you need it, right? He was like, I've been wanting to do the same thing, but it's completely fucked how you end up with just people being like, oh, plot my token. And you're like, how do you get these mofos to like, you just, if you just say, I'm plotting charts, what do you guys want plotted? Then every person is just going to throw their bag. They're just going to want their bag getting charted. So the way to do it is say, I'm going to make this effectively free, but enough so that it takes more than you just running your fucking mouth, right? You have to click a button and send virtually free amount of tokens. And isn't it shocking how few projects like founders who did sacrifices that raised like literally millions of dollars from the community, who are unwilling to literally send an amount of tokens that is like actually fuck all. But we're giving them the benefit of the doubt that they might not have heard of the structure yet, or whatever the reason. I don't care, and no hate. I'm just saying that that cover charge is enough to just weed out 99.9999999% of projects and people who want their shit charted but are not willing to actually cross that line of sending like fuck all tokens to the Dilly DAO. So, which is exactly what we want. We want to weed out the weak. We want there to be a small entry fee so that you don't get people coming into the Grove who don't deserve to be there. So, yep, I'm not going to feature comments of other coins, especially coins that I hyper don't like. Freedom is also made for losers. Yeah, I want everyone to be free. We want everyone to free. Where to send the tokens? So so in my Twitter bio, sorry, I should have actually mentioned that at the start. In my Twitter bio, the address of the Dilly DAO, that's the Dilly DAO address. So it's not my address, it's the address of the DAO. And someone's actually put it in here. I trust this user. Like they've been a long time viewer of my streams across multiple platforms. And so I'm sure that's the right address. Or if you want to double check or know for sure, if you're like, I don't want to trust someone just posting it in the chat, it's in my Twitter bio. And then the other side of it, by the way, it's all explained in episode 1. All the disclaimers about this not being financial advice and all that stuff's episode 1, how the Dilly DAO works. I'm meant to say that at the start of every stream. If you haven't seen episode 1, please go and watch it. That has all the info in it. But the idea is that tokens that get sent to the Dilly DAO, they're the ones that get charted as long as it meets the minimum requirements, and they're ordered in the amount of what they're sent in terms of dollar value. But maybe we should do it in terms of percent supply. Maybe that'd be a cool way. And that was why this one, Dilly, was first, because that was actually the highest in both, in percentage of supply and in dollar value. This was like hundreds of dollars worth of tokens, by the way. And so, but I mean, I'm sure that they don't give a fuck, because they just sent the whole supply. They just literally sent the whole supply. So back to Hookers and Coke. We're starting to get some interesting market structure here. So let's take a look at, there's this new tool, or this tool that I haven't used much of, that looks at, so this tool looks at where the majority of the volume, so what the majority of the traded volume, where the majority of volume occurred, like what price levels the volume mainly occurred at. And so I've just selected the entire history of the entire chart, and it actually shows that most of the volume did actually occur at these low levels. And so now we're actually above that average volume. So if you consider this to be kind of like the bag holder level, or the sort of like, I guess, majority cost basis, or like it kind of gives you an idea of, because we know that people buy and sell their cost basis. People, that it's a psychological pivot. And so that's quite interesting that we've gone back above that with this Hookers and Coke thing. Although remember, this is a hyper low liquidity coin, so maybe none of these tools are actually valid. We'll keep an eye on that, see how it goes. So yep. Now we're into the Tangang coins. Was there anything else to say here? I mean, I guess you could also say that theoretically this could have been resistance at the time, and now might be, and actually did act as support through here broke down, retested, broke down again. Let me just make this a bit larger. Fake breakdown, broke down, retest, input, like massive dump. And now it's actually gone all the way back up to that level, hesitated for a little bit, and then broke through it. So if you were doing this purely on TA, this would be looking good, but the liquidity is just so low on it that I just don't think TA, it's actually not just the liquidity, it's the volume. So your volume is the metric that you want to look at in terms of the higher the volume, the more likely TA is actually going to make sense and hold true. So no, there's no Telegram for the Dilly DAO. Just join the Tang Gang. Joining the Tang Gang is the best decision you'll ever make of any Telegram. It literally is the best Telegram of any Telegram inside crypto, outside of crypto. It's literally the shit. The Dilly DAO doesn't have a Telegram, but episode 1 of this show, which is on this channel, and by the way, all the standard shit, please sub and like and stuff like that. I need as much engagement as possible to get this show off the ground because it's just starting. This is only episode 3. And I have really, really, really high hopes for this because I've had so many positive comments about my content over the years that there's like a diehard audience that really enjoy my content, regardless of what I do. They just don't give a shit. They don't give a shit whether I'm charting, talking crap, telling stories about my personal life, dunking on haters, having dialogues with other YouTubers. They just don't give a shit. They just really enjoy my content. And I think we can really blow this thing up. So, and so like, if you were to send some now, then they would be in the next episode, which will actually be in less than a week's time, probably in a few days. And so, Funding Jim said, "Are we going to meet up in Australia?" I thought that you said that you're only going to like East Coast cities because I'm in Perth, and I saw your list of venues that you were going to, and it was like Tasmania, Sydney, somewhere else, Melbourne, I think. And I'm not traveling at the moment. So, but yeah, if you end up in Perth at all, then we'll definitely meet up. So, right. Tangent is flexing on us. So, I'm just checking some of these. Yeah, look, no one knows, like, no one knows where a coin is actually going to go. Ivan on Tech makes a hilarious comment where he's like, whenever you give a price target, just don't give a time. And then no one can ever... Sorry about that. No one can ever call you out and say that you're wrong, because if you don't give a time frame, theoretically, the price could still go there. So you could say, Bitcoin's going to $1 million. Okay. If someone ever says, oh, bro, it never went to $1 million. I'm like, yeah, I didn't say when. It could be like, I could have meant that it went there. And same with if you've got lower targets as well. And while he's joking, it's actually fucked. Like, it's actually true that mofos do use that strategy where by not giving it, so to give an actual price prediction and then to be able to say I was right, you have to say a price and a time. But also now in an increasing environment where people have to be careful about like financial advice, that is kind of a defensive move, I guess. But yeah, you guys are right that people were talking about different prices and shit like that, and no one knows. That's why none of this stuff can be financial advice, because no one can see the future, right? Everything's just a prediction. So I made my first meme ever. I think it was the first meme I've ever created in my life yesterday. I'm not going to feature it in this show because it's a little bit full on. Like it's actually really full on. So you'll have to join the Tang Gang if you want to see that. Tang Gang on Twitter. Your tangent, what's the best way to find these new projects at launch? I feel like I'm always a little... Look, no matter how focused you are on crypto, you are always going to have that happen. I went away to a music festival for somewhere between 24 and 48 hours and completely missed this whole war thing. Got back and it was a thing, and I just missed the whole thing, right? So, and I'm full-time crypto, and every waking hour I'm involved in crypto. I've got people DMing me about stuff, telling me about early shit. But so the best way to stay in front of stuff is join the Tang Gang. Joining the Tang Gang would be step one. People knowing that you're keen for that means that you might get people DMing you with ideas, but keep in mind that some people might take advantage of your eagerness to be early to stuff to shill you stuff that's actually a scam or pump and dumps or whatever. So because remember, there's a survivor bias, right? Where you are like, damn, I'm missing all these pumps. Because people are flexing their like 60Xs, their 100Xs. They're flexing all the stuff that they've made all these mad gains on. You're not seeing the number of just flat out rugs that are occurring on this chain, because there's not as many people just constantly saying, I got rugged, I got rugged, I got rugged, I got rugged, because you'd get bored of hearing it because it's happening so much. So being early sounds really good until you realize that statistically it's actually it's not in your favor to jump on something early. Most of the time you just get rugged. So what you're really asking is like, how do I identify these ones early that are going to do these 100Xs? And that's much, much, much more difficult. So yeah, there are call telegrams and stuff like that. Tang Gang's a great start. All right, that's enough with the comments. Oh, we're at the end. We're pretty much at the end of them anyway. Please look at the charts for these particular tickers. They've got to get sent to the Dilly DAO, man. Oh, that's the same user that was asking about how to send them. Oh, I haven't heard of those. So one of the you've sent them. If you don't mind, because I need to be careful with what I pull up while I'm live, particularly when it comes to like searching addresses and stuff like that. So look, the next episode, because this has been going on quite a long time, and I still actually have to race through the Tang Gang coins as well as part of my sponsorship deal. So if you don't mind, we will do those coins, and then it'll be better for you anyway, because it will be they'll get featured at, like, there'll be more in their own show rather than just being like buried like hours deep in a show that's like already this long. So that'll be episode 4. And also I do like to check to make sure that the coins are not like so disclaimer, I do not endorse any of the coins directly that I chart on the show. However, I do some very, very, very simple checks just to make sure they are like not flat out like really obvious scams. So while I take no responsibility, no accountability for what ends up on the show, I do make a very, very, very small effort to make sure that they're not like really bad, like the obvious scams. So, okay, cool. So you've said sounds great. Let's race through. So, and by the way, I think it's going to be like within the next few days, max amount of time before the next episode, because I'm trying to keep them to an average of 1 per week. And this episode should have been on Thursday that just passed. So I'm almost a week overdue. So to get back onto the like averaging 1 per week, I need to actually do another one around Thursday of this week at the latest. Like, right. So let's get into some of these. Into some of these Tang Gang coins. HOA, the daddy of the Tang Gang, right? Now, look, it's dropping at the moment, but don't panic. It's everything in the market is getting effed at the moment. So I've got this fib retracement tool. Can you guys see this? Yeah. I've got this fib retracement tool on. Oh, yeah. And that is one of the checks that I do. I just run them through the verify PLS. Cool. So you've already done that. Thank you. So this one, I've got the fib retracement tool on here, and it's looking quite good. These levels look like they're being respected, these fib levels. and, you know, it was supported here. Now we're back in this zone here. So I would say that, you know, maybe as a bearish scenario, this one comes back to this fib level, which is not that crazy. But, you know, with HOA, it's been very strong. And because this dump is actually more likely to be pulse drop related. So actually, you know, let's actually do that. Let's switch the price here into, so this is the chart against PLS. And so I'd drawn this head and shoulders that didn't play out. Well, it looked like it kind of broke, but then it didn't meet the target. And so yeah, I wouldn't be too concerned about this. Let's just say if that's potentially a support level there, I'll get rid of this head and shoulders now. So another thing that I could draw that's bullish, not that I'm just like desperately trying to find bullish scenarios here, but I would encourage people to look at something like this where, sorry guys, that line's not orange. So there was a downtrend here, right? So this was a descending triangle, and here it looked like this descending triangle broke down roughly where you would expect. By the way, they typically break down, if they're going to break down, typically it is around the kind of 2/3 through the triangle. And by the way, everything I'm saying is like TA shit, like as in just what is like accepted technical analysis stuff, right? If you think that TA is bullshit, then everything I'm saying will sound like bullshit. So we'll continue with the horoscopes for men. And so, by the way, so then this went all the way into the nose. Fake breakdowns, like fake outs to either direction, are usually the opposite. So a fake breakdown is bullish, a fake breakout is bearish. And so this has broken out and is now basically retesting this downtrend. So this to me is still bullish. And if it can find support either on the actual downtrend line itself or at this level, like, so maybe it'll just kind of just wiggle its way down, find support here, and then move up. So I think that still looks quite bullish to me. And then I try not to go too much into the fundamentals, but the amount of value that just gets thrown at HOA holders is just so insane that I tend to have a bullish bias on this particular coin. Next, this is G'day. This is Gillespie's coin, the one and only, the only Australian meme coin. What did I used to say? The newest? Yeah, it's the only Australian meme coin and that has ever existed that I'm aware of. And when I set up for this stream, the price was actually making a higher low, but that has been broken now. So we're back down. We're back down at the lows according to this fib tool that I had on here. So I'm hoping that this level holds. If we again switch into looking at it against PLS rather than against the dollar, then this is actually making higher lows. Let's go to hourly chart, 4-hour chart. Oh yeah, that's nice actually. Yeah, check that shit out. So against PLS, I don't know how you, I mean, look, typically you attempt to not break candle bodies. And I know that I've broken a couple there and a couple there, but let's exclude that. Like, let's allow that breakage of the rule of trend lines for this chart, seeing as at the time it would have been quite low liquidity. And you've got this almost looks similar to what we saw on HOA in the early, on the early part of HOA when it was accumulating. If we go back over to here, right? So very, very, very similar to what happened in the accumulation stage, where the coin was new, not that many people knew about it, but people that liked the coin were accumulating it and, telling their friends. And so I'm not saying that it's guaranteed to do this exact same move where it just eventually breaks out of that coiling in wedge, but it's possible that it's effectively doing a similar thing. I do know people that I know of people that are accumulating this coin, but don't factor that into your assessment. You've just got to do your own research or whatever. And I'm just saying the chart looks like that, and we will take another look at that. Obviously, if you believe these lines, the resolution of this has to happen soon. So Doza has said, "G'day all." So the resolution of this has to happen soon. Yeah, that's cool, man. You can either watch live. I'm on the Tangang coins now, or you can go back to the start of the stream. It's a bit of a long one. I apologize. I was kind of going off on a lot of tangents that were unrelated to the charts. So yeah, do remember that this coin is quite young. Yeah, exactly. This comment is correct, that it's like you end up with, there are people that have made profits. There's like the initial pump. There's people that got in early, and so you typically see this as the supply redistributes, and that's good, because then the holder distribution starts to look better and stuff like that. But remember, we're here for the technicals, not the fundamentals. And by the way, I'm not saying that to you. I'm reminding myself of that. We'll see a resolution of that by the next stream, I would say. Yeah, by the time the next stream, we'll get the resolution of that. So we'll leave those charts like that. Pussycat coin. This is actually the project that has got something cooking that they're literally this close to announcing. I've been helping them a little bit with testing, and I'm very, very, very excited. Like, that was not the correct tone of voice to express how pumped I am about this thing. I'm deliberately moderating my excitement, because I try not to overhype things before they actually exist and are available, accessible to the public. So, but just fucking strap in, like just get some kind of seatbelt or a straight jacket or some kind of helmet or something. Get some shit to protect go and get like a therapist on retainer. Like, do something for the because you're going to be on one side of this. You're either in the Tangang and this thing is going to blow your mind in a positive way, or you're not in the Tangang and this shit, when it comes out, is going to fuck your mind and you are just going to like rage quit all of crypto. So the choice is yours. So yeah, look, this chart's suffering a little bit as well, but seems to be holding this support level. I will admit I did cheat a little bit here, because for all of these other support lines, I'm using the blow off wick. And for this one, so I did actually have this level up here. And prior to the stream, I'm just admitting to you guys, this is the one and only change I made to this chart since the last time it was up. I just want to be completely transparent. And this was just my own thinking. Maybe it's just cope. Like, as in my own cope, that made me say, okay, well, look, the price was supported here, candle closes, the price was supported here. And this actually was the candle close on that up move. So I had the level here, and to me, it just looks better. I mean, it does, yeah. Like, either are probably legit. Maybe it should just be boxed out. But I thought it's probably worth moving the level here for the purpose of saying this has shown support 1, 2, 3, and now potentially it's going to support the price a fourth time. Let's just keep an eye on this level, right? So I wasn't moving it to be deceptive or to try and like paint a more bullish case for a sponsor. I just thought we'll just keep an eye on this level. You know, the chart's not terrible. Like it did a 10x, and then what is this retracement actually? Is this a healthy pullback? Oh, it fucking is. 40%. So that is actually a healthy retracement. You know, 30 to 40% is very healthy. So it's healthy in a bull market. And so fucking A. Go to all your favorite coins and click this little rocket ship. Go and do it. It doesn't need to be my coins, my favorite coins. It doesn't need to be the Tangang coins. You go to your coins. I'm hoping that the people that are watching have, like, I'm sure some of them do have similar coins. I know there's a lot of Tangang in here. It's a free way to support the coins that you like. And the only reason mine aren't all like geared up over here is because I don't use this. Oh, someone just pumped the price. Someone just fucking sent the price. And you guys know it was not me, because not only was I not on a device, but you couldn't even hear clicking. So you know it wasn't me, but someone just fucking sent the price. And so that's cool. It's the opposite of what happened last time. Last time, fucking Jeets were dumping the coins as I was charting them. I was charting the Tangang coins, and people were fucking jeeting the chart, and it was fucked. It was so fucked, bro, because it was like I was pulling up charts and being like, yay, Tangang, and then the fucking charts would just be like straight down. Like, not that bad. It wasn't that bad, but it was pretty funny. So, and then I went into the Tangang Telegram afterwards, and I was like, that better not have been anyone in here cheating the fucking charts while I'm trying to send it. Like, I'm not trying to send it, but while I'm trying to show the charts. And so yeah, that just jumped up again. So what was my point about this? We were talking about, what were we talking about? I've forgotten. Look, green candles are very distracting to me. Green candles are very, very, very distracting to me. So yeah, I completely forgot what I was talking about, but probably a good thing because the stream's gone on for a little bit too long. We were talking about the Tangang. We were talking about this chart. We were talking about bullish narratives. Oh, that's right. Clicking the little rocket ship. It's free. It's a completely free way to support the coins that you like the most. And the only reason why you're not seeing them on this computer is I don't use this computer. I don't stream on a computer that I use for crypto. I've got like 18 computers in this room. That's an exaggeration. I'm not being serious, but there's at least 6. And then that's not even including VMs, even though we all know that VMs are actually hackable. And so what's my point? Oh yeah, that if I was on a crypto computer, you would see the numbers of all the little rocket ships. I do shit for the culture, okay? I do shit for the culture. I legitimately do shit for the culture. I bought the very first picture NFT ever when I got back from that music festival. Now, some of you might be thinking, you were probably high as shit. And you were like still high from the music festival and thought that buying an NFT would be a cool idea, even though you know that NFTs are no bueno. Not the case. Not the case. I was not high, and I still bought the NFT. I did it for the culture. I did it for the culture. I did it for the Tangang. I did it because I wanted to lean in. The Tangang have offered me so much support on not just this show, other shows that I'm on, like Crypto 7. I'm on Crypto 7 every Wednesday, except for the one that just passed because I had to pack. I'm on the DeFi Late Show. I'm on Maddie's conferences. Wherever I have gone on a stream, whether it's regardless of the channel or whatever, when I tell the Tangang, hey, I'm going to be on this stream, they show up hard. Like, they show up. So they've been so supportive. And so I was like, I want to do something to show support and lean into the culture. And I know that the Tangang is going to be a force for good within this next bull market. They already are, by the way. And we already technically are in a bull market. But my point is, my point is that What does that look like to you? Does that look like up and to the right? My point is that I realized that the neckbeard NFTs, because they are orange and because they are HOA branded, so no disrespect to anyone else's NFTs, but these are so specifically Tangang related. And obviously Cookies had one of them as his PFP when the whole Tangang thing launched. So now in my mind, that kind of like is associated with the launch of the Tangang, even though Cookies is just a community member, right? He's no more important than any of the rest of you. But for me, seeing that, you know, those PFPs, I think they are kind of going to visually represent the Tangang. They won't be the only way to visually represent the Tangang, but it'll be one of the ways. So that's effing cool. Keep an eye out on what is going on. This is an interesting one. Oh, yo, what a perfect segue. This is the coin so this is the neckbeard coin, NBC. This is the fungible token that is linked to those neckbeard NFTs. I was thinking about growing a neckbeard for the culture, and then because it's just easier, right? You just don't shave. But I actually find it quite annoying. I don't like having hair on my neck, so I always actually shave it. So we'll see. Maybe we'll do something a bit like when people were doing like no shaving till Pulse launch or something. Maybe I'll be like neck beard until like actual neck beard until fucking Pulse gets back over like whale base sack rate, please. Fucking please. No, and by the way, that please is to the universe. I'm not begging whales or any shit like that. So anyway, and by the way, all the coins that you guys care about are pumping like fuck anyway, regardless, but it would be good if Pulse could like do some shit, go up. So let's take a look at this, right? So I drew this as I was prepping up for the stream. You guys, I don't care if you guys don't believe me, but I am telling you the truth. I drew this inverse Head and Shoulders when the price was like literally around in here to set up for the stream yesterday, and it literally pumped to the target, and now it is retraced, but it did make the target. So this Head and Shoulders that I drew out, this horoscopes for men, was actually correct, right? So it's the one time. What star signs are you guys? Put it in the chat. Actually, don't fucking do that. That's like literally, whenever anyone asks you anything online, where you are, whether you've got kids, stuff like that, stuff that in the real world you're like, oh geez, this person's taking an interest in who I am as a person. You don't answer them. You say, nice try, FBI. You want to give people as little information apart from, so I don't mind saying what city I'm in because that's already doxed. I don't tell people my age. I don't tell people my name. I don't tell people any of that shit. So like, you want to give out as little, particularly if you're in crypto, you want to give out as little information as possible. So just then one of the ones that I know, I see influencers doing it, and I know they don't have bad intentions, but they're like, hey, tell me, I want to see where everyone's from. Like, tell me where you're tuning in from, and say like, you know, good morning from like wherever you're from, and like what drink you're drinking or whatever. And I'm just like, oh man, every mofo in here is like doxing what city they live in. And so you just got like all these usernames and stuff where they're just like, I'm coming in from here and here and here. And I'm just like, fuck, bro. And then those ones where it's like, oh, I'm a turtle in this coin. Who else is a turtle? And people are replying like, yeah, I'm a turtle. No, I'm a squid and shit. It's like, oh my God, you're fucking doxing the range of like now if I wanted to try and work out what wallet is yours, if you fall for shit like that and I follow your content for long enough, I probably will be able to work out who the fuck you are. And some people do even worse than that. Like what stuff that's just immediately dox, like immediate dox. They'll post an NFT that they just bought. And I'm like, okay, now, by the way, I respect people's privacy so much that I don't go and do that. right? I don't ever do that. I don't ever do it. So if someone DMs me and they say that, like, say I mention a coin to them, or we're DMing about a coin and they tell me that they've just bought more, or that they've just bought some, or they've just dumped, or whatever, I know that I could go and look at the blockchain and work out what one of their wallets is. I don't do it. I don't ever do it. I don't want to fucking know, right? So, but not everyone is as privacy obsessed as I am to go to that point, because some people might not even see it as an abuse of privacy. They might just be like, oh, I've always known this person to be like a hex OG. I would love to know like how much hex they've got, or, you know, like just the curiosity just gets the better of them, and they just want to see like how much they've got in their wallet, or whatever, right? So, and so that's not like a surveillance thing. That's not evil. They're not going to use it against them. They're not going to dox them. They're not going to do any shit like that. But just out of pure curiosity, they go and look up their shit because they know that they can. So just be aware of that. As far as I know, the Tang Gang owns over half of what has been minted. Holy fuck. Yeah. Yeah. So, oh, actually, yes. Thank you for reminding me. Back to 9 mil. These motherfuckers are G's, right? So the two dev teams that I'm most impressed with at the moment, this is no disrespect to the other Tang Gang members, but the ones that I'm just like, God damn, these Giga Brain, Galaxy Brain, Chad devs, 9mm and Pussycat. Holy fuck. Holy fucking fuck. So, Dad. So check this out. If you go, so scan.9mm.pro, they went and made their own block explorer because all the other ones suck. Completely free. They didn't do a sack. They didn't do a raise. They just went and built the shit that we all desperately needed. If you change that address from scan.9mm.pro, and I apologize for not saying this earlier because I should have been supporting them for the culture. If you turn the word scan into mint, mint.9mm.pro, it will take you to this particular NFT minting website. They've already minted nearly 700 out of the 5,555. These are not just picture NFTs. They are going to be the way that they kind of, it's going to be part ownership in some or all of the different products that they are producing. They're producing a range of things, including like a DEX, a marketplace, a scanner. Apologies if any of the information I'm giving wrong. I'm so excited that some of the stuff I'm saying could be wrong. So go and do your own research. Go to the 9mm, join the 9mm Telegram for your own benefit to keep up to date with, so that you get early access to the scanner and all the stuff that's free. But also so that you can look at the pinned messages or whatever and just check to make sure that the stuff I'm saying is accurate, because some of it might be wrong. But this, and so someone in the comments has said, who was it? It was it was Too Spooky, was saying that basically the Tang, and so this is a perfect example. And I'm sorry this stream is going on for so long. I wanted to keep it to an hour because I've actually got other stuff I need to do quite urgently, and I've also been like helping the Pussycat team with testing. So ever since I helped them get testnet PLS, I just kind of like and by the way, oh man, I can't wait to tell you guys about this shit. They heard me bitching and moaning. In fact, I don't do that shit. They heard me accurately criticizing some of the things that I didn't like about other shit within the space. And so they took my commentary on board. Like they didn't even, for some of this stuff, they didn't even ask me like, hey, what do you think? They just heard me in Twitter spaces saying stuff and literally built my suggestions and criticisms. They took that stuff and built that into the protocol that they are currently building. And I was just like, damn. So, you know how people say, rather than complain, go and build it? I sort of did it by proxy. Like, I complained about it enough until other people built it. So, look, guys, I I'm a busy guy. I'm a busy guy, right? So 9 mil and Pussycat fucking crushing it at the moment. This mint, if you want to get your hands on this shit, and so this is the perfect example of 9mm leaned into the Tangang hard, super hard. Gave away 100 of these NFTs to HOA holders who were holding more than 69,420 lol of the token. Gave early access to the block scanner, which was instrumental for me to be able to run these streams and do other shit that I needed to do in terms of like sacrifices, like proving sacrifices, all this shit. They have leaned in, provably, they have provably leaned into the Tangang, and now without any, they didn't say, hey, they never said, oh, hey guys, since we leaned in so heavily, it'd be great if you guys could like support us by buying these NFTs. No, they never said that shit. The Tangang just stepped up. One of the guys, I think it was either Ted or Too Spooky, bought 100 of these. Just went, fuck it. I'm doing it for the culture. Shit, he would have actually, can you change this number? No. So that motherfucker sat there clicking 100 times. He sat there clicking 99 times, yo. He sat there clicking 99 times because they didn't expect anyone to be gangster enough. Even though the name of the project is Pulse OG, they didn't think that anyone would be gangster enough to come in and just literally buy 100 of them at once. I give up. I'm on 88 and my finger is tired. What the fuck, bro? What a fucking G. So that's hectic. I'm glad you brought that up in time for me to mention it. What coin were we on? Oh, yeah. So NBC. This one's been a banger. I think it's underrated. Like, I think the coin is underrated. I think I said that in the Tangang chat. If you look at this, so I mean, yeah, okay. So we're back. So we are back below. We are below that fib. So yeah, look, again, the coin is young. The focus from the NBC community, the people who are excited about NBC are hyper focused on memes and the neckbeard NFTs, right? So as a community, they haven't been as focused on the coin. But now as more and more things are being built, and I know I'm sort of like getting a little bit into fundamentals here, but as more and more things are being built by other people within the community, and I don't want to say anything that sounds like I'm giving away information about certain things that I shouldn't give, but people are building shit to add value to other like there are communities within the Tangang where they're looking to do things that add value to all coins or other coins, not just their own coin, right? That's part of being the Tangang. So I wouldn't be surprised if stuff does come out. There's nothing official yet. There's nothing official yet about stuff that is going to happen with this coin. So don't think that I'm hinting at any shit. I'm not promising any shit. Go fuck yourself if you think that. But I wouldn't be surprised if sort of more attention does start to shift to the actual coin itself as more and more people become aware that this coin does actually exist within the Tangang, not financial advice. And by the way, remember, everything's down at the moment. Let's get this. Oh, yeah, look at this. This is the chart we should have been on. Fuck that other noise. Look at this. Dude, bro, forget that other chart. Forget I even showed that shit. Fuck that noise. So here's the same fib retracement tool on the chart against Pulse Chain, right? So it bottomed out here. By the way, I was telling people in the Tangang, it was in this fucking zone right here that people in the Tangang set up a community fucks pool that had all the Tangang coins in it, right? It was when Furu and NBC were literally down on their lows. So anyone that leaned into that pool for the culture literally that component of the pool, if they purchase that, because you have to purchase all the coins to be to get involved in that pool. I probably should have actually mentioned it on a previous stream, since they are the sponsor, right? Like the gang is the sponsor. But and I know some people are not into LP providing. If you don't understand it, sometimes, like, if you don't know the risks and stuff like that, it's not for you. And some people prefer their LP providing to be 2-asset rather than multi-asset. So you do you. I am not saying that if you're not in that pool that you're not here for the culture, right? That's not what's going on here. But some people did lean into that pool for the culture, and the NBC and the Furu that they would have been forced to buy to participate in that multi-asset pool literally went and did, because it was down here, literally went and did like a fucking 3.5x, that's 250%, and is still over a 2x, 120%. So sometimes leaning in for the culture has its benefits. But look at this. This retracement tool looks legit. It has actually actively bounced off these levels here and here, here. Nya, 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 and nya, nya, here, nya, and here, nya, here, nya, and here, also nya. So I wouldn't be surprised if we find support, like if it even goes down more, then finding support here might be a vibe. But whatever, these coins have been going up while other things have been going down. So I don't know why I'm looking at I don't know where I'm looking at the bearish scenario, although it's not really bearish to say that it might find support nearby. That's probably bullish. You guys decide. Furu again. So for this one, maybe this was the low that I was talking about. Let's actually go back over here. Yeah. So this is 18th, 19th of August. So this one, 13, 14. So it was in this sector here that at the time looked like the low, that the pool was created. There was a nice pump, but obviously now it's lower. Look, this coin did suffer from being fully airdropped out, huge gifting out to all HOA holders, and people tend to dump airdrop coins. So hopefully most of those airdrop jeets are out now, and the coin had a big drop here. Someone just capitulated out hard. Just weak-handed jeets, man. They're not here for the culture. All of these people here, not for the culture. This shit here, they're not in it for the culture. They don't understand the power of the Tang Gang, and that all Tang Gang coins are part of the Tang Gang, will probably perform really well. Not financial advice. But now it's making higher lows, which, by the way, I drew this when I was prepping up for the stream, and that has held. So I think we might have either been here or here when I drew that. What are we on? 4 hour. So I think we might have been around here finding support. No, actually, no. I wouldn't have even drawn a trend line if it was only two points. So it must have been here. And that makes more sense. If these are 4 hour candles, then yeah, the timing worked. The timing checks out, man. So making higher lows on Furu. We'll see what happens. We'll look at that coin again. I don't panic too much. I mean, just out of interest, let's look at what the retracement has been from here, because that was like a blow off top at the start. Oh, 50%. So that's 50% retracement from this run up. Whatever. The liquidity on that is not too crazy low. Like, that's almost $1,000 Australian. So, and by the way, so like one of the things, I know that you're not supposed to trust in crypto. It's like, don't trust, verify. That is true. That is very true. Truer words have never been spoken. However, I do know that I'm not going to make the statement, none of the Tang Gang coins would ever rug, because I don't know that for sure, right? I'm not involved in any of them. But what I do know is that if any of them ever did rug, the fucking backlash from within the gang would be so heavy that, like, it wouldn't be worth it, right? Like so I'm fairly confident from that reasoning that these coins are never going to hard rug, or I perceive for my own investment thesis, not to be mimicked by anyone. My investment thesis involves none of these coins ever doing a hard rug. So we move on to a coin that was early to the Tangang, but is kind of like, oh, thank God, this one's actually bounced back. So this one did crash yesterday, and I was looking at this, and on my Twitter space, I was like, oh man, part of my sponsorship deal is that I do have to show this chart, and it looks like absolute garbage, but now it's actually recovered really nicely. Look, that's capitulation at its finest. So where's the ETH is actually a hexy bastard coin. It's a weird one because, if you want the full story, watch episode 2 of this, but I will just say that it's one of the first coins that actually came out on the same day as HOA. Maybe it might have even been like a little bit earlier, like same day, but might have even, I'm not sure which one was first. It was around the same time. However, because it's a hexy bastard coin, their community is most active in his Telegram chats, like the PP chat and the 9-inch chat. And they're not actually really that active in the Tangang chat. So it's kind of a weird one where it's like a founding coin, but I also see it as kind of like almost peripheral. And so this comes back to what I was saying about the Tangang. There's no fucking rules. We do it for the culture. Like we don't have to define what is and isn't the Tangang. That can be redefined in every Tangang member's mind in real time, all the time. Right? So that shit, this one, it's a Tangang coin, like, because it's on the list, but it's also their community is like not really active in the Tangang stuff. That's fine. It's a Tangang coin. And look at this fucking capitulation. Look at these weak-handed Jeets. Look at these Jeets. And now look at how much they have to cope and seethe. This is the price they dumped at, and it's already up 50%. Right? Jeets out. Get these fucking Jeets out of here. This is Jeets leaving the building and the Dillyz entering the building. Green Dillyz in. Green Dillyz can come and party with me at my house. Jeets can get the fuck out. Right? So that's pretty cool. I'm glad that recovered in time. And then, by the way, the coin that's meant to be on here, but I forgot to have a tab for it. There should be a Pepe on Pulse. Is also a Tangang coin. Is this the one? Yeah, look at this. Huge liquidity on this thing. 82 grand of liquidity. 82 grand of liquidity. Grinding the fucking lows. Bigger the base, the higher into space. And there's a 3x on the table just to get back to the first fib level. Not financial advice. Suck my dick, go fuck yourself. To the people who force me to have to say that. So, but there's over a 3x on the table for anyone who believes in horoscopes for men. Just saying that I hate myself every time I have to say the words not financial advice in that order. And so I'm bullish as fuck. I'm bullish as fuck on the Tangang. I'm bullish as fuck on crypto in general. I'm bullish as fuck on crushing haters. I'm bullish as fuck on the engagement that you guys fucking smashed into this stream. The number of likes and views and shit, comments. Absolutely crazy. That's the power of the Tangang. Show respect. Join the Tangang. Big shout out to the Tangang. I've actually run out of drank. I've run out of orange drank. By the way, this is water, just full transparency, but I should have actually been drinking orange juice. So I think that brings us to the end of the stream. I think we've been going for much longer than I expected. I think that you got motherfuckers should join the Tangang Telegram if you're not already in there. Shippy went on roaming data rates and had to pay like something insane, like $40 just to go into the Telegram to find the Discord invite link to go and join the Discord. smoked $40 on fucking roaming fees to go and do that. And you motherfuckers, some of you motherfuckers, have not even joined the Tang Gang for free. WTF. So, oh, we've got a new viewer. So, by the way, I'm just going to quickly run through these comments because just because you guys have put so much energy into painting this fucking thing orange. Cool. Yep, we've read that one about the Pulse OG things. Thank you for reminding me of that. Shout out Pulse OGs. So shout out 9 mil. So 100 mil. Oh yeah, people are doing buy and burns. People are doing buy and burns like on Tang Gang coins and like and then if the 9 mil thing mints out, they're also going to do a buy and burn, and they're saying they might burn the NFTs that don't sell. So it's just like, guys, just support them. They're supporting you. Everything's going to be dope. Once the Fux pool is established, I don't think. What does this say? What? Yeah. So Doza, this statement is correct. However, the problem is for people, just so people are aware, this is correct. Once a pool is created on Fux, you can supply any of the tokens that are within that pool. But what it will do is, so say if you take, let's use the Tang Gang pool. It's got all the Tang Gang coins in it, except for Fluffy, because you can't put tax tokens into Fux pools, or it's highly recommended to not do it. If you were to put, because the Tang Gang pool's actually got PLS in it, if you were to put PLS in it only, it will sell that PLS, like it will sell a lot of that PLS to buy all the other coins in the correct ratios immediately. So you get mad slippage if you are, but I mean, look, if you don't care about the slippage, then, sorry, you might get mad slippage depending on the scale of what you are putting in relative to the liquidity that is already in the pool. So if it's got massive liquidity, it probably doesn't matter for people that are not putting huge amounts in. But because this Tang Gang pool is still in its infancy, I think it's only got about $3,000 worth of LP. We need to get that up to about 20K to get it gauged by Buck and the guys over at Fux. So it's well on its way. It's like whatever the math is, like 3, 2 times 3, 6. So a 6x. So a 6x in price performance with no change in actual added liquidity. So 6x in average price performance, which in crypto is like not that big a deal. It would just take Pulse. If Pulse went up by 6x from here with no other changes, everything else static, that Tang Gang pool would be worth 20K roughly. And then it can get gauged. So for extra rewards. What was my point? So because it's got 3K in it, if you're only putting in like, I don't know, like $100 or less or whatever into that pool, then you probably wouldn't notice the slippage that badly. But if you're going to come in and like drop a G or more, then you probably would notice some slippage as it redistributes across. Thanks for bringing that up. It's important for people to know that. Damn, boy. Hex Orange Address broke 800 holders. Congratulations, man. Seriously, that's on the fucking blockchain, bro. You can't fake that shit. That's fucking dope. That's fucking dope. And I noticed like in the Telegram chat, people have been like David James and Ted and Too Spooky have been actively kicking people out of the Telegram that look like scammers, bots, or just people that look like they might just be in there like for nefarious reasons or any of that shit. Just booting them all out because they said when we hit 500 Telegram users, we want to be able to celebrate that shit legit and not have it filled with like fake shit, right? Obviously, you can never know 100% for sure, right? There could be some people in there that are bots, and there could be some people that we boot that they boot out that are not bots. But the point is, the attempt is of the Tangang is legitimacy and that sort of thing. So 800 holders, nearly 500 Telegram users. Notice how these metrics are going up, right? So if the price is going down, which is not really, but if locally, if short term, if the price is going down and these sorts of metrics are going up, these fundamental metrics, that is called divergence, right? When things are looking better and better fundamentally, the amount of value that people are just fighting, people are fighting over giving value to HOA holders. It's crazy. It's crazy. These other projects are like, can we give you guys free value? And it's like, whoa, slow down. There's all these other projects queued up. You need to get to the back of the line before you can give us free shit, right? So I think 43 is in here. Hi, Tangent. Just came across your live stream. By the way, this is not from 43. That sounded weird the way that I ordered that. Welcome to the stream. How everyone is absolutely pumped, absolutely bullish, painting the timeline orange. Vitamin C overdose. Let's go. Lines of Tang. Let's go. Let's fucking Grove. By the way, I only realized after I started the stream, the thumbnail that I created, which is like the Orange Grove sponsoring the PRC20 charting or whatever, because Restream puts their branding on the thing. I'll make sure that doesn't happen again. Like, I'm sorry about that. So, but I tried to make a thumbnail that was a bit more than just an image this time. Anyway, even this show is improving in its fundamental things. I'm making the things better. More coins are getting involved. The Tangang's super supportive. Views are going up. Everything's going up. I'm going to make shit better. I'm getting more bullish by the fucking minute. Let's fucking go. We're here to take down banksters. Let's go. We're here to take down banksters, but now we've got our own gang, right? So, you know the saying, if you can't beat them, join them? We're kind of doing that, but rather than joining them, we're just joining their idea. We're going to use a gang, the Tang Gang, and we're going to take down banks. But shh, don't tell anyone yet. Thanks for the great stream. Cheers. We are ending here. Sorry, 43, you're coming in right at the end, but too many dudes in here craving Dillyz. Get some fucking Tang. Oh, sorry. So we've already smashed the 500 on the Telegram. God damn. Do you motherfuckers realize that? So not only did it go up and hit the 500, that's now another 10% increase from 500 to 550. That's huge in percent terms. That's huge. And we're just getting started, yo. So I'm going to be on with 43 later on. So approximately, you know, I'm not doing time math live, but it's a number of hours and 15 minutes. Wait, no, 45 minutes. Fuck it, whatever. It's going to be EST, 7:30 a.m. EST, American EST, on Wednesday morning, I think is when Tuesday morning, because our stuff is on Tuesday night for us. It's the Hex Late Show. So if any of you have been watching this show, just coping and seething that I'm talking about coins that are not Hex, because by the way, Hex is still is it still my favorite cryptocurrency, or is it one of my favorite cryptocurrencies? It doesn't matter, right? We don't pick favorites. We don't have favorite children here. Obviously there's Pulse and Hex. Pulse and Hex are definitely up in my favorite cryptocurrencies. I haven't stopped being a fucking RH fanboy. But for those of you who cope and seethe on the timeline about me even mentioning coins that are not Hex, tonight's show that I'm on with 43, or tomorrow morning for American people, is the one that you want to come and watch, because that's the one that's Hex focused. So 8 hours and 45 minutes. Thank you, OG. Thank you, 43. That is brilliant. LFG, let's fucking Grove. Shout out the Tang Gang. Thanks again for your support. Now, 43, I don't know if you heard. In fact, I'll just DM you about it in terms of the copycat show that I approved, that I gave approval to because I didn't have a choice. And so let's fucking Grove. I can never find this end stream button. There it is.